Hey guys, J77 here doing a what's news topic. The second time I've done it in a cafe, and the reason is that once I get home, I got two videos I got to take care of, and one of those videos, wow, big glare there. Let me fix that. One of the videos that I'm going to be taking care of is going to be a very long, probably two-part video, which is going to pretty much take up most of my days. And during the week, this week I'm going to be doing a lot of articles, a lot of writing, so I won't be able to have time to do a what's news video as a pre-recorded. So I'm doing it like this, so that way the stuff I'm going to get out gets out, especially with the stuff that I want to cover during this length of time. So it's probably going to be a shorter version of what's news. It may not, depending on some of the articles I want to cover, but unless I want to get one out, because I didn't bring one out last week, so it's going to be pretty much a pre-live stream, because I'm pre-recording this as I talk, but it's going to be posted immediately on YouTube, as well as other channels that share the same feed. So I do apologize if the loud noise becomes a little bit of a problem. But in any case, I might as well start with the first article that I have brought up. Something I talked about very early on during the day, and that was the Rodney King's death. There was some more information that's being brought up. A lot of information that which has surfaced, because when this thing came out, it just came out with very little information, and now there are other news that's developing that the girlfriend, his fiance, had found him and has reported him to the police department, which was later on confirmed that he had died under the pool, and that is pretty much all the new information I got. That he was found to be drowned under that area of the pool. Now I'm going to leave a link to the Daily News, as well as a link to the old article that has it, but this one is pretty much a more updated version, and again, it's pretty much from the same people who brought up the first video. It basically explains a little bit of what went down. Not too much, because they still haven't given the official cause of death, but from what a lot of reports saying, that he was found dead in the pool, and it was discovered by his fiance at that time, and right now that's pretty much all the information I have gathered from there. But this was a pretty much shock to me, for the simple fact is that A, he was 47, he was very young, and B, something like that, it triggered very strong memories of what has happened, how much what happened in Los Angeles affected us here in New York. As I said earlier, when this thing went down, we went to school only to go back home a few hours later because of the hostility that was being spread in New York. It didn't explode, thank God, but there was a lot of people, pretty much unease as towards how this thing escalated to begin with, and whether or not the stuff was happening in Los Angeles may actually happen in New York. A few people have commented on it, pretty much. One person, a friend of mine, did ask me about me not doubting the justice system until that thing happened. Again, when I mentioned it, I wrote this on the comment section, but I might as well say it again. When I was growing up, I was very arrogant when it came to law. I had this stupid belief that the justice will prevail once all the facts come out, once everything has been revealed, that justice will eventually come out and it went through in the end. Well, that changed once I found out that there was videos about clearly police brutality, and the cops was acquitted for what was clearly staring the jury in the face. a crime being committed towards another person. And again, we had a long discussion about this. We had a long discussion about this with the teachers. It was a very good discussion, and many people had voiced very mixed feelings towards this thing. One of the person I remember saying that, well, if he's drunk, he obviously deserves to get beat up because you don't know what he was thinking. He probably took a swing, and I was sort surprised of how this blatant, how that person would just say it's all his fault and not the cops. And let me remind you, this was a black student who was saying this, so it really also stunned me. But it also stunned me in how people view justice and what they use to justify brute force. Even today, there are people who justify excessive and deadly force on things that I normally don't consider to be warranted. So it was a very, very big thing, and it actually made me question what constitutes justice and what doesn't constitute justice. And it got me to examine the laws a lot clearer, and I did learn from examining the laws as well as keeping an eye on current events that not everything, the justice system is not perfect, and there are innocent people who get wrongly convicted. There are also people out there who could be guilty as day, but never see justice because of A, lack of evidence, or B, terrible way that the prosecution has handled it. So justice is definitely blind, and not in a good way, where the people are guilty don't always get tried guilty, as well as the innocent always being at the wrong place, wrong time. Someone may actually witness something that they really didn't witness, and before you know, that person is serving life in prison for something he didn't do. So it made me second guess a lot about how the justice system works, and as well as what constitute the stuff that is put into law. Because like I said, a lot of laws are being made constantly, and it makes me question whether that these laws are necessary for the city, state, or the land in general to govern us as a society. So it does. So yeah, the Rodney King trial had that much effect on me, because that's when I started really paying attention to the laws as well as politics in general. That was the tipping point for me, and not be so blind as say rules are rules, you must follow it no matter what. No, you have to question the law sometimes when it comes to that situation. So that was my feeling towards that, and I hope to my friend that answered the question of why I didn't question law, because I was young. I was still a kid back then, so my main thing was go outside, play ball, play with my friends, play video games. That was it. Anything else that came in between, fine. There were some things I did watch, but I really did not focus a lot on politics as well as news in general. It was when that incident happened is when I really started focusing more on the laws and racial stereotype and racial profiling. All that stuff started to slowly tip down, and believe me, when it did, it hit me like a brick. So that's pretty much the gist of what Rodney King got done. And listen, I know people saying, I know one person said it, even though kind of questioned what his true reason for commenting was, but he said that pretty much he said, who cares about what Rodney King is that not. I think it's the fact is that he was put as a symbol, even though he never meant to be a symbol. But because of the situation, was so out there, and because of how much tension it was built up. Because people don't realize that riot happened over not just a period of one day. It happened because a lot of people was building up. The news media showed the tape around the world, and you already have that racial tension already at its peak, and the eruption came after they heard the injustice of not guilty, which prompted the LA riots to just go out of control. Do I condone it? No, I thought that was not an excuse, because A lot of people got hurt. A lot of people died in the process, and it just made matters a whole lot worse. But him coming up and saying, you know, we just get along, leave, don't do this. It's not making anything better. I think without him even realizing it, he became a symbol of injustice all over the world, and I honestly didn't think he wanted it. It just happened, and so be it. So my feeling is, again, my condolences come out to him. There will be must be more information. I'll leave a link to the article that I'm reading now, as well as a video of a fellow YouTube. I'll leave him a link as well, so you guys can check it out yourselves, and pretty much comment yourself on the whole situation. But in terms of that, that's what I felt when I saw when that riot thing happened. It just changed completely my perception of how the world actually works. It's not a perfect world, and it pretty much cemented that there is a lot of issues, a lot of serious issues that still need to be addressed today. So let's move on. There's a lot of other stuff I do like to cover, particularly this is I don't normally, I'm not going to do too many news articles, but I do want to touch on this one that's happened in New York. I'll try to keep it a little bit mixed in terms of news that's surrounding, but this one is a very sad news. This one I have been following a little bit, especially in my city. It says an 88-year-old woman was found bludgeoned to death in her Bronx home, her body surrounded in groceries. This story was put in by Carrie Willis. It is from the New York Daily News. I'll leave a link below. But it basically explains that a Bronx grandmother who wore a lot of gold jewelry was found bludgeoned to death inside her apartment Saturday. Her body surrounded by fresh groceries, cops said. The investigators believe 88-year-old Evela Chaperon was the victim of a push-in robbery. Chaperon's daughter was and grandson found her inside the fifth-floor apartment. And the front door was slightly ajar. The groceries were swung above the floor. Police sources says the senior citizen who suffered severe trauma to the head died at the scene. Also, the report also says that there was much blood there was so much blood that the cops originally thought she has been shot. Sources said that's sad. It really is. This is monstrous to kill an old lady. I agree. This is just heinous. I don't know why people would do such a thing. I don't know why people would kill, period. To kill an old lady like that. She's Maria Lopez Canyon, who 82-year-old mother lives on the floor above the victim. The cop is hunting for the killer, who they expect follow her into the room. There is no security camera, which I think is going to change very, very quickly after this. The report also said they were speaking to the elected officials to ask for cameras. Said Hannah Williams, president of the housing residents. The neighbors suspected she was targeted because she wore gold necklaces and rings. She wore an insane amount of jewelry. One of the persons, Lisa Valdez, 48. I asked her why. She said she was afraid to leave it in her apartment. Kind of weird, kind of pretty much very protective of her stuff, so that's one of the reasons why. But this pretty much have shaken the community very much at its core. And you gotta believe they're gonna put cameras there now. If they didn't put them there before, they're definitely gonna put it there now, because they can't afford to have something like this happen again. Especially now that they don't even have a face to go with this. The murder set waves and panic through the housing projects where most of the residents are senior citizens. The neighbors, a neighbor said, we are in shock. She was a nice lady who could be so stupid to do this. Someone who has no morals or doesn't have any, or doesn't care about life in general. They looked nervous. The daughter was crying. So her body might have been there for more than a day, the sources said. So they may be possible this happened a few days prior and they just found her today, yesterday. That could be possible. As frightening as Elmo Pello 72 is, as one of the neighbors, it could happen to me too. The Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr. urges everyone for information to come forward, so we can put this savage behind bars. Yeah, I hope they catch this guy, because there's no reason for that. I don't care how many juries the woman has. You don't have no right to attack a senior citizen in that matter. That is just unacceptable, and I do hope they catch the guy, because that was it really was wrenching when this news first broke out yesterday. And again, it makes me wonder about people's consciousness. I mean, people ask why they can do this thing. It's all within here. I mean, seriously, I don't see how a person who does that care for anybody or anything, for that matter. This is all greed related. They didn't know that it's just hard to fathom. I really do. Sorry if I'm stumbling my words, but again, when I hear news like this, it just bothers me. It really does. But hopefully they do catch the guy. Hopefully he gets his day in court, and hopefully justice can be served. But it's going to be very, very hard, because, like I said in this article, there's no cameras in that building, and you got to wonder if they have any special guards, police officers that actually patrol the building to begin with. But nevertheless, I hope someone who knows something comes forward and put this guy behind bars, because again, what they did was unbearable, unacceptable, and just downright wrong. You don't have no respect for life if you take a life like that in such a heinous manner. But you guys may have a different opinion, a different say on that matter. I'll leave a link below. You guys can comment on it when you guys get a chance. Okay, we'll move on to something more practical. Something here. This one I heard about. So I'm basically, and this one caught my attention a few days ago, because there's a lot of stuff going on regarding this. If I can get it linked, I'm still waiting. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is the police. Pennsylvania mom injected 14-year-old daughter with heroin about 200 times. I'm gonna read this again. Philadelphia mom injected 14-year-old daughter with heroin 200 times. This is all it says. My. A Pennsylvania mother of 2 is accused of getting her teenage daughter hooked on heroin and injected her with the drug hundreds of times when she was 2 weeks to do it. When she was 2 weeks to do it herself. Attorney says that the 38-year-old mother of Beaver Springs began smoking marijuana with her daughter when the girl was 12 years old. The daily items reported. The girl, whose name is being withheld due to the nature of the case, told police that she began using harder drugs like heroin when she was 14. Now the 14-year-old said that she has abused prescription pills and crack cocaine, in addition to heroin and marijuana. The mother allegedly injected her child with heroin about 200 times when she was too sick to do it by herself. The 21-year-old Beaver Spring man is also accused of shooting the teen up in exchange for sex. The girl said that Robert Thompson Hengritz gave her Sotoxerone, a drug prescription for option dependence. Hendricks denied that he provided the girl with drugs. Attorney says it is unclear how Hendricks came into contact with the teen, or what connection, if any, he has with the mother. Also goes on to say that the mother admitted that she and her daughter had a drug problem when she was interviewed by state police, according to the court documents obtained by the Daily Item. The daughter told attorneys that her mom would sometimes take her to a hospital with a fake illness to get prescription drugs. The 14-year-old also said that she and her mother would share I can't pronounce this drug. A Frenchman's patches. I think that's some little cigarette patches. I don't know. It's a hard word to pronounce. It's a prescription painkiller. Okay, painkillers. It's 110 times more powerful than morphine. The investigation learned about the mother's daughter drug habit when the teen sought treatment in April 2011 at Clear Vision Addiction Treatment Center for Youth Women in Montgomery, Pennsylvania. Laws required that Clearview Vision staff to report all allegation of sexual abuse to the state, according to the Daily Item. The mother is charged with child endangerment and corruption of a minor. Wow. Didn't know they had that in the books in Pennsylvania. A primary hearing is scheduled for June 21st. As for the other guy, he is charged with statutory sexual assault, aggressive indecent assault, and corruption of a minor. That's the whole entire article, guys. I just read the whole thing to you guys. Wow. This is these news. I say these because this is not the only one I've heard about it. There was another woman who was accused of putting drugs in her daughter's sandwich, which was pretty much got me wondering what the hell's going on. And this here is just a far case of addiction and child abuse at its utmost worst. Getting your child addicted to these kind of drugs, especially at her age, is just irresponsible, wrong, and just downright dangerous. And the fact that she had done this at a lengthy period of time, it just makes me wonder what the hell was she thinking? What's she been thinking? As for the guy who was accused of the other crimes, he's denying it, of course. I don't know if they are true or not. I can't say. I'm just going to stick with the teen's situation. Regardless of what you say right here, this was an awful move. She could have killed her own daughter. That's how serious her drug addiction is, and it will take pretty much years, if any, for this girl, this teenage girl, to ever recover from that. And that really falls on this mother. And the only reason why I didn't mention her name, guys, because her name is so large. To me, to pronounce it right is almost nearly impossible. But I will leave a link to this paper because it's very, very tall-telling, and I do believe it needs to be said when it comes to this type of abuse. But like I said, this was stages. This whole entire thing took place in stages. First, marijuana, who a lot of people like to defend as harmless. I have a different opinion, of course. To me, I think that marijuana is a gateway drug, and this is part of the reason why I feel this is a gateway drug. Of course, you guys feel differently. I'm not going to get into the marijuana thing, but this led to that, to crack cocaine, prescription pills, you name it. It was a very serious addiction, and if it wasn't for the fact that the girl, the 14-year-old, was seeking help herself, this probably could have ended up being her downfall, where she's in the grave 6 feet under. Hopefully, with everything that she's in, she's pretty much been charged, and hopefully justice can be served for this. But damage done. You pretty much all but ruined your daughter's life with what you have done, and only hope that she can actually recover from this one step at a time. But this is a very this stories, along with other stories that I just mentioned, has been popping up a lot lately. I don't know what people was thinking. We had I've read one story where you had the mother with the drug sandwich. She thought that was, I don't know what she was thinking when she did that, You almost had another story where a volunteer counselor was giving children feces as and disguised it as candy. I don't get it. What the hell is going on with these parents? They're supposed to be helping our kids, teaching our kids, not creating harm to them. And you see stories that just getting out of control. But this one, I really want to touch on because this was a very, very strong story that I felt needed to be mentioned. And man, oh man, oh man, it really bothers me how some people's mindset is nowadays, especially in the last 10-15 years. But again, I'm gonna leave a link to it so you guys can read yourself. It pretty much is gonna be the same story I have talked about because I read the whole article. This is courtesy of Daily News, also courtesy of the Associated Press. It was done by Christine Roberts. Good job. And it basically explains pretty much everything that that needs to be explained. So I'll leave it for you guys to look at. You guys can talk about it and leave your comments. Gonna do one more. Like I said, I'm not gonna do too many stories, and pretty much I already went beyond the length that I thought I was gonna be. So I'm gonna do one more, and this one. This was mentioned to a lot of people before. I know a lot of people wanted me to talk about this one. I know somebody else brought it up before, but yeah, this is a weird one. I consider it the most weirdest story I ever had, and I don't know how the authority is gonna deal with this, especially since it happened 3 other occasions. But a perv arrested for public sex with a teddy bear. I'm gonna say it again. A person was arrested for having sex with a teddy bear in public, and this is the 4th time this happened. It says here in the it says it pretty much that for the 4th time in 2 years, a Cincinnati man was arrested for masturbating in public with a teddy bear. Chris Marshall was cited Wednesday for disorderly conduct after he was caught having sex with a stuffed animal in the public alley. The smoking gun reported. Employers of the Elm Street Health Clinic spotted him and called police. WKRC Cincinnati reported. Remind me of the TV show. The 28-year-old has 3 prior convictions for public indecency and disorderly conduct involving teddy bear. Court record shows it is unknown whether the same bear was used. Jesus Christ. It is unknown whether the same bear was used each time. Do you see why I do pre-recording sometimes when it comes to these reports? The first off-scene was in February 2010. Marshall confessed of engaging in masturbation with a teddy bear in the man's bathroom. Hamilton County's multiple municipal court record shows. 9 months later, he was arrested again for knowingly engaging in an indecent act, which officials said had been an ongoing problem according to court records. Here's my question: how come he's not going for treatment with this? How come the courts are not letting him go to a treatment to deal with this? Obviously, this is more of a psychological problem, and if anything, he should be going to getting this worked out for treatment. He should be mandatory to go to treatment for this and talk about this, because this is something's not right up there. It really isn't. 9 months after that, on August 2011, he was charged with the same offense. This time a place where minors were likely to be present, record shows. And now this is getting more serious. Marshall was served a light jail sentence and paid a small fine for misdemeanor crime, the smoking gun reported. And that's pretty much it. What this thing is not telling us is why is not being mandatory to go to a treatment program to deal with this situation, because this is getting a little bit dangerous. And this is the 4th time this has happened. I don't know if he's on the registry or not, but to me it doesn't really matter. He has a serious problem and he needs help. He needs serious help. That's evidence right there from what I have spoken here. And it's not a laughing matter either, because it's gonna end up going a little further. These are still actually phase one to something more bigger, and I think that the judge in this case should say, listen, pal, what's going on, man? You're doing this all the time. I can put you in jail, but obviously you're gonna still do it, and basically let him seek professional help. Let him go to a treatment program that deals with something like this, because he definitely needs help. I know some of you guys saying he should be in jail for a long time, but hey, look, I don't even think jail is going to be enough. I think seriously, there's something here. There's something really up here, and I think that needs to be addressed, and not get him a small misdemeanor fine and let him do a light jail sentence, because that's not going to cut it, especially with this. Do I think it's warranted a jail sentence, prison sentence? To be honest with you, he hasn't really caused physical harm to anyone, other than the fact he's doing the same damn thing. But he should at least be mandatory by the states to basically seek medical treatment, at least get a psychiatric evaluation, and let him be forced to take these kind of treatment programs, also suffer the consequences of something more of a strong strenuous jail time that he can get treatment for while behind bars, because this is not going to stop. The evidence is written on the wall. Of course, you guys, I know you guys have a different opinion on this. I know that, and you guys, I'm more than welcome to hear your opinions on that, especially with the other reports that I just mentioned. It's a very light show. I just got into 4 major ones, and I'm gonna let you guys comment on each one of them. So that's pretty much about it. As for, again, with the Rodney King situation, like I said, the impact on me in terms of what this case changed everything. So to that guy who says, who cares, who gives a damn, well, in many ways you may not care. To me, it had a lasting impact towards my memory, and it really changes my attitude in terms of how the system really works. So that's why it's when I heard his name, it just shook me a little bit. It shook me to the core a lot, because it brought back the memories of how that triggered with the riots all the way down in New York, and all the way to my own opinion of how the law works, how the system works, and never again have I looked at it with sunglasses again. So that's why it really got to me more and more. As for his death, we will hear more about it as the day surfaces. I will leave a link to the stories that I have talked about, and you guys can comment yourself. You can comment on the other stories, even though there wasn't too many. But until then, this is J77 saying you guys take care, be safe, have a nice week.